Hello and welcome to daxsdeviants. In this podcast, we talk to title holders and their experiences within the fetish community and their wider fetish scene. Today, I am joined by a wonderful guest who might not quite be a title holder, but was a very close runner-up. I'm with the wonderful Kerberos. Say hi.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing good. Had a day off, so
Oh, nice.
at least one time a week. The rest of the week I have to work.
Oh, well, that's not too bad, I suppose. At least you're getting that day of rest.
That's right. After all.
So, can you tell me what your runner-up title is in?
So I'm the runner-up for the European handler, so the dominant pardon of the puppy title, and so it's more or less to show the people around Europe what it is to pup play, what pup play is about, and also what is the handling is about, and also to be to encourage people who define themselves as handler or who want to be a handler, to show them what a good handler is, and also to be someone who's even talking to people and explaining them handling and what's right handling and what's wrong handling.
I think that's really good because I feel like, as discussed in previous episodes, there's a lot of kind of misleading information about handlers and alphas and the way that they should behave, which is bringing in new pups, which they're kind of being misled and they're maybe not getting the kind of best puppy experience that they could get. So I think having kind of role models and kind of people to lead the way like yourself is really beneficial for the community as a whole.
It is, but as I always try to say, if we talk about sex and or kinky stuff, everything is normal and everything is okay. It's just I can tell the people what's my opinion is of being a good handler is, or of being a good alpha, but it's not the meaning of all. So some will say what I do is totally wrong or something, like they would do it different. So do I with others, but for them it's the perfect way.
Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of it, is that there is so many different ways of kind of handling or being an alpha, and kind of leading people. There is obviously wrong ways, which people would argue is the right way. But they can be less of a relationship between sub and alpha and more of just a bullying almost.
It is. So if it's just the differences, I also always say the differences between a violent relationship and an SM or puppy handler relationship is that in the puppy handler relationship, that's voluntarial. So if they like to get bullied, the pup likes to get bullied, it's okay for the handler to bully them. But on the other hand, if the pup don't likes it, it's near to the violent relationship. And I've been in something like that. I've had a violent relationship with abusing, and even there, the differences is clearly it's voluntary and there is a common sense beside, and it's something. And even pup play is, for I say as handler too, is something mindful. So now mostly these yoga guys talk about this mindfulness, like inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth, and laugh and breathe. But on the other hand, it's pup play too. With a good handler, you stay in that mindset and you really enjoy the moment and you enjoy your body. Even if it comes to spanking, it's a kind of mindfulness. You can feel that getting spanked is like you're feeling your body, like this body analysis this yoga guys say you should do. So that's I think is this point in being a good handler and being a bad handler.
Absolutely. And how long have you kind of been a handler for? Like, how would you say your experience with it is?
So, well, that's a good question, since, I'm also a pup too, but I was also defining myself as an alpha since I'm not that submissive. And a handler, I'm actually, since this year, or last year, more or less, it was like a mental breakdown. And maybe the people who saw my show at Darklands will maybe know what it was about, because this show was more or less about my mental breakdown, my discussion with my inner persona, fursona, about what I am. And then I was standing up and said, yeah, maybe I should not try to pup, maybe I should try to handle, being the other side of the leash. And so it started, and I delivered very fast, and I really enjoyed being a handler.
Oh, so it's quite a recent thing. So how long have you kind of had the experience of being a pup then?
Oh, well, so a pup since, that's long ago. 2018 or even earlier, I bought my first really cheap mask just for myself. It was just like, yeah, let's try it. And I was into it. So it was in the beginning, but then I started, just barking around, and I've decided to be an alpha, because I'm more I want to be this version of myself I can be in real life. So I can be the dominant and leading part. And I'm seeing myself as a leading part, and I really like to be a leader. And so I've become an alpha, and then I delivered from alpha to handler.
Okay, so it's kind of a progressional thing. And at the start of it all, did you settle on your pup name then, or how did the pup name come about?
Okay, well, the pup name was beginning from on Kerberos, because I was thinking of something evil, something that's bad, and something that's demonious. And there was, what is the hellhound number one? It's Kerberos, 3 heads.
Yep.
And it's also describing my personality a bit, because I really think of myself, I also have 3 faces or 3 heads. So there is one head that's this friendly, nice one, the other one, the angry, and the third one, no one wants to meet them, because that one is very evil. That's I kill your face. So that one, when I'm really getting angry, the bad side of myself.
Yeah. I think that's quite an interesting way, because like I would have assumed that like Kerberos was kind of this large kind of presence that's kind of all-seeing, but also that kind of sneakily playful way. But I think you've explained it really well. Like that wasn't a kind of a description I would have went for you, but that's quite interesting.
And the other side, it's also the keeper of their eternal order. So Kerberos keeps the death inside the realm of Hades and the living one outside. Even he missed his job sometimes, but after all, it was his job. Yeah. And through that, he was the keeper of the eternal order.
I think that's amazing. Such a cute puppy, just doing his job.
Yeah.
So what got you into kind of being a pup and then becoming a handler? What was it that kind of started it all off?
Well, since I'm living very rural, so maybe the people here won't know Villach, as they are not exactly from Holland and were here for vacation, or other people who were here for vacation or at the Kirchtag. So my first start was really social media. It was like, there's pup play, some art, saw some art and some thing on Twitter, naughty Twitter.
Yep.
And so I decided for myself, maybe I should give it a try. I ordered the first hood. Then it came the next one, the first custom one, the next custom one. And then I went to a Pride, even as puppy. And it was also last year. So last year was also the first time I was in public as puppy, as a really small Pride in the next city, Klagenfurt. And I really felt comfortable, but then I delivered the whole year, and in November last year, I was like, being submissive, being a pup is not mine all the time. Sometimes I can get into headspace too, very often, but I prefer the handler headspace, because I can do the stuff I really want, and I can be in charge for others, and that's what I like to do.
Yeah, and what would you describe kind of the difference between your pup headspace and your handler headspace as?
Well, the puppy is a service pup alpha, more or less, and the handler is a sadistic asshole. Not an asshole. It's like I've found out that I like giving pain, but just a bit pain. So not like they start bleeding, because that reminds me to work, and I don't want to be remembered to
Yep,
work in
nope.
fetish. So I really prefer to give the people the pain, because or other things to keep them really in their headspace. I really like keeping people in their headspace. So like hypnosis, or with my ASMR voice. So when I start talking very slowly and trying to get into their mind and making my personal Pavlov dog out of them. It never worked.
I love that. I like that. It's just the kind of the high energy and the kind of that's enough to get the engine going. So what would you say your kind of style is for your puppy side and for your handler side? Because I know that some people they're similar, but some people have them quite different.
Well, for my to separate both from each other, you already have to look how I look like. So if I look like from above down, and I really look like angry, and you think like, oh no, don't mess with that guy, I'm in totally handler headspace. And if I look above and cute and like, or give me belly rubs immediately and give me all your treats, then I'm in pup headspace. So that's more or less of how I look like. And also the thing is, it's some pup play about it's the eyes. If you you can see so much things through your eyes, and you can talk with people through your eyes. So that's what I like about pup play.
Yeah, it's a very social kind of fetish. I feel like it's got less of a kind of, for me anyway, it's got less of a sexual connotation and more of a social thing. And yeah, just the kind of body language, as you mentioned, the eyes, things like that. It just, the little things for making it such a kind of communicative and social kind of platform.
Yeah, and on the other side, I'm also a sexual pup. So usually to have sex, I have to get in headspace that's led by some trauma I've got in my past. And so that is my way to have sex. So I have to get into headspace, and then I can have sex with people. So it's a little bit more complicated.
Interesting. And the kind of, you feel more comfortable in the headspace, and do you tend to have more fun?
Yeah, it's like that, because if I'm in my human headspace, it would be like it would be awkward, because it would be strange to have these feelings. So it's a little bit complex. A long story. I was abused by one of my ex-boyfriends, and so it's for me very difficult to have sex with people. So the headspace is my solution for that.
I mean, if there's one way you can find how to kind of work around it, then I think you've kind of found it. Obviously, it's awful that you went through that, and I'm sorry to hear about it. But I'm glad that you found a way to kind of move past it almost, and find that kind of happy space for Kerberos to kind of thrive.
Yes, and even here the disclaimer that is not the solution for everyone, because
no, absolutely,
I'm working in medical, studying nursing, and doing the wrong coping strategy for you is not the best idea. It just brings you to my station, and you don't want to be at my station.
Yeah, everyone has their own way of dealing with things, and I think kind of finding your own way of dealing with past events is kind of important. But what works for one person might not work for another. But who knows? It might work for other people. I know some people that getting into the puppy headspace is actually really, really good for their mental health, and can kind of help them switch off from the real world and that. Because it's kind of like the time you get to be a different person almost, or a different puppy, as it were. And just kind of on the back of that, what is something that you were interested in with your kink to begin with, but it turned out to not really be that great?
Okay, well, with my kink, what is very interesting about this is that you can combine everything with pub play. Pub play can be sportswear, it can be uniforms, it can it can be every fetish around, and it's not like it's just like this. Like a rubber fetish is, or drone kink is mostly rubber or leather. If you don't like it, yeah, you're not into that, or other things. And it's even compared with skin, showing your body, and also this, as I told before, this mindful part of pet play, because it's just letting go, let go your human behavior, let go your normal talking as a human, or as you act, and you just let go and you just obey, for example, commands as a pup. And as a handler, it's the opposite. So if you usually, like me, is used to talk in a non-violent conversation with Rosenberg, it's really enjoying to don't speak like that. I don't do that. I've seen you have done this. So it's just sit. It's really so easy to just say sit, and not I wish that you sit down, or like that, or even giving people some treats and they are cheerful, they really like them. That's like giving some Lotus biscuits around, and the pups go around and they are so thankful, and you see it in the eyes of the people. They really enjoy it, and that's why that's my side of the handling, or the alpha part, because I can really give people some very nice hours.
Yeah, I remember people talking about you at Darklands, saying you were handing out biscuits, and everyone's very excited about it. Is there anything that you kind of found not as great when you kind of started out in pup play?
Oh, well, pup play, it's a part of showing skin, and even that it is now getting a more well-known fetish, and also in the beginning it was not that well-known. In the beginning it was for around, I live on the rural side, as I told, it was very difficult, because they are wearing dog masks, they are evil, burn them, get them out of the city, get the forks, and on the other hand, nowadays it's a really disadvantage is, since it's now really common, we have the usual problems everywhere, this gear shaming, body shaming, and so on. And for me, I really think pup play is a way also for people who are not that ideal model size, because it's impossible for them through their DNA to to be kinky and to be around. And this body shaming in the gay community is now also coming to the pub community even more and more, because there you show your naked skin and sometimes you can't cover. And I think that's one of the baddest things in pub play right now, is gear and body shaming.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed the kind of gear shaming side of things. The body shaming, I mean, I've only really kind of experienced pup play events such as Darklands, where I've not really noticed it there, mainly because it's such a wide variety. You've got pups from kind of every corner of the world, all shapes and sizes, and personally I feel like the pups that you meet there are usually some of the friendliest and nicest people that you meet. So I can't say I've kind of experienced that firsthand, but I do know that within the gay community it is a very big thing. Like yourself, I'm from a small town near to kind of a couple of cities. But yeah, the gay community here is very small. Everyone kind of knows everyone in that kind of sense. And yeah, the kind of body shaming sort of thing, like, I've always been skinny, but never kind of the skinny fit, where the guy's just been really skinny and just kind of naturally has abs, even though he does not do any exercise. Never been like that. Just skinny. And yeah, it kind of, for a while, I was always kind of bullied in high school because I wasn't as fit as the other guys, or I didn't do any exercise. And yeah, so I've experienced that kind of side of it, but not the kind of gear side. Or sorry,
Yeah, the buddies.
but sorry, not I've experienced I've not experienced the gear side myself. I have seen people that experience that, but kind of the body shaming for the pup community, I've not witnessed.
Well, I've just so in Austria, it's also a very small community, and this with gear and body shaming is more or less what I've heard from others. I've never saw it, but for me, as one of the victims of bullying of body, and also because I wasn't the richest one, was something that triggers me, and I think it's something bad. And even if people get some mental disease, it's also the worst thing to shame them for that, because they can't do anything. It's usually somewhere in their childhood or something else. And also the pub community, that was a discussion I've heard around, that people don't like that people are around to have mental disorders. I'm the first one who says then this community is for people with mental disorders, because it's so important that they get a safe space. They don't have a safe space anywhere in the gay community or in the queer community. Exactly. They need it, and pub play is it. If you have body issues, you can wear a mask. If you don't like your face, you can wear a mask. If you are shy, you can wear a mask. If you have a childhood trauma, I've read a book from a psychologist about these troubles with the inner child. It's a very easy way to get into the mode of your inner child, or as Freud called it, the it. But it's really the way to get to deal with that problems you have, to deal with your inner child.
Yeah, as I said, like a lot of people have said that pup play is a form of escapism. It's quite popular amongst people that are neurodivergent. So there's a lot of people with ADHD, autism, Asperger's, people on the spectrum somewhere usually are into pup play, because it is kind of that way of letting out all this excess energy. You can kind of be a different person. And yeah, I know plenty of guys that when they've got their pup masks off, they're quiet and hardly say a word. But when they're in their puppy headspace, man, trying to get them to shut up is an absolute nightmare. And I do feel like pup play is, from what I've experienced, a safer space for people that are neurodivergent or maybe do have the body issues and things like that. But yeah, the general gay scene it's always been a nightmare. It's never been a great thing. I mean, yeah, I've had experiences where you go to a club and there's like this one random straight girl that's like, oh my God, you're gay. My friend's gay. You guys should get together. And it's just, yeah. Like, what the fuck even is that?
Yeah, I know it, but yeah, I was in gay bars, but I don't go there, because here in the south of Austria, in Carinthia, it's more like, hey, he's a kink. He's evil. He's bad. He take the forks and burn him.
He's spawn of Satan. He's going to make everyone gay. Hate your sons.
The gay community is like that. There is a little bit very difficult. No one says they are kinky or they have fetishes, but they all have them.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want to see it in public.
No, yeah. I think the worst one is when, I don't know if you've experienced this, but like when you're on Grindr and a guy's like, oh, what are you into? And you kind of like, you start listing out your kinks. And you're like, oh, so what are you into? And he just hits back with that, oh yeah, I like sucking and fucking. You're like, wow, how original.
Yeah, I know that too good. So since I don't have Grindr, I just have the Romeo stuff, and I'm barely online, and there's more or less just like, what are you into? And if they ask me what I'm into, I start with my list, and they like, oh no.
Yeah. It's
yeah, then don't ask.
Yeah, like don't ask if you don't want to know. So what is something that you wish you had known about, like, kind of the pups and handlers now, that you kind of wish you had known when you had started back in like 2017, 2018?
Well, I really would wish that I would know then that the community is very nice and so cheerful. At my beginning, I was very scared of the community. I didn't know there is a community around, also in Austria. I really would wish that in that time that there is a community, and also that the people there are nice, and not like if you imagine a handler in the scene is like they are like really strict. Like I am also very strict, but then as normal people, if you meet them, you can have fun with them. I've never thought that would be happened before.
Interesting. So did you kind of just go off the assumption that, handlers were just overly strict and not that friendly?
Yeah, it was my illusion in the beginning. So when I started, I was really thinking like, oh, handlers are strict, ladder daddies are strict, and then I met the guys from the Austrian community, even ladder guys, and it was like we had so much fun. So even when we had that army play, whereas really when I was described, and if you see it, it's really strict, and on the other side, it's like laughing. It's more laughing than everything else. We just we make fun. So like at the photo shoot last weekend, they just talked to me. I'm a seal because when I laugh, it sounds like a seal.
I love that.
Yeah, since Darklands, I think my laughing must be known about whole Europe.
Oh, that's exactly what you want. That makes yourself memorable. Especially as runner-up, they'll definitely know now. They'll be like, oh, he's the runner-up that sounds like a seal.
Or like a starting engine in winter.
Oh.
Sorry.
It's a great laugh, to be fair. So what does being a runner-up for Handler Europe mean for you?
Well, for me, it's now I have a duty. So when I got this medal, it was for me like, yeah, well, now I have the duty to represent the community in Europe, to represent the Austrian community and also the handler community. Since there is no trainer Austria or handler Austria, we just maybe have a puppy Austria again this year. It would be I have the duty to represent the community and also to represent the community in Europe, and also to work inside the community to give the people information. Like my project I will now soon start with is for informing people if they have mental problems, where they can get help around Europe. So it's more or less search. It's more or less just searching for numbers, but it helps. It really often helps people, because I know from work and also from private life, usually if you have mental problems, you don't believe someone is hearing you, someone is listening to you. And if you have just see their number, if you don't know the number, you can't get reached. But there are around Europe very many. I think in every country there must be a number where you can reach, where you can talk with people and talk about your problems, and who will listen to your problems. And if it's really worse, they could send you help or give you help. At least there are like the psychiatric emergency service in Austria, where you can reach a psychiatric station all the time, 24/7, if you have the feeling for that you want to do something or that you want to harm yourself. Or there is another number here where you can reach people if you have if you just have some mental problems and just need someone to talk. Germany it's also, and in Swiss also, but about the rest of Europe I'm unsure, and I want to search these numbers and give it to the people in the communities, because you just need this reminder to see it. Hey, there's help. You can reach them. They will listen to you and they will find a solution with you. Most important thing is find the solution for yourself and to reach them and to know that there is help. You forget it if you have a mental crisis.
That's amazing. And what is the kind of name of your project, or does it have a name?
Well, till now I don't have a name. It's just you're not alone. I also want to find people who have mental disorders and who will talk about their problems in public, and talk to the people also how to get out of the problem. And then you're not alone. There is help, because I had an internship at the psychosomatic station, so for people with burnout or who have a inefficient coping strategy and lead to a mental health issue, to depressions. And one of the feedback I got from the patients was the best thing was these groups where they had the feeling they're not alone. And I started thinking after that, because it is like that. You feel alone if you have a depression, or if you have bad thoughts, or just these thoughts, no one loves me, no one likes me, and you see other people have the same thoughts, have the same problem, and they got help. You will reach the help.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. Because I think kind of a lot of people, especially in the kind of fetish communities, will have at some point kind of got to that point where they do feel alone. Because I feel like unless you live in a big city or you can afford to travel, quite frequently, you don't really have the same sense of community that a lot of others do. So it can feel kind of, alone. And honestly, I think your project is absolutely fantastic, and it's something that I'm happy to boost here on the podcast, because it's incredible work that you're doing, living up to your name of Kerberos, trying to stop the living from entering where they shouldn't be. And yeah, I think it's something that needs to be kind of boosted and put out there.
Yeah, and on the other hand, I want to be a psychiatric nurse, and I want to prevent this, that people do the stupid things like suicide. And as a paramedic, I've saw it also how it could end. And I won't describe it here, because the people maybe hear that while they're eating, and it's not that good. But on the other side, you can prevent it. And with the right questions, you can find out if someone has a really mental problem, if they want to do the suicide, or if it's just to get attention. But after all, it doesn't matter. It's more the matter that people can reach somewhere and get help.
Yes, absolutely. So can you tell me a little bit about how you got to entering the European Handler contest, and kind of what led you up to getting your runner-up award?
So, well, that was a funny story. Last year, my ex-boyfriend broke up. He was Puppy Austria. And then I was thinking, like, if they can do Puppy Austria, I can run for European Puppy. So.
Yeah.
Then I've heard how many candidates there will be for European Puppy, and I was thinking, like, yeah. Then a friend told me, Spark, I should switch. I shall switch to Handler. I'm an alpha, and therefore I shall switch to Handler, because there are not that many people, and they need more people. And I was like, okay, let's try to be a handler. Then I was having several mental breakdowns, because how do I handle? I have never handled a strange puppy. I'm demisexual. I need to get some feeling, and going on. Then I found the whip and played a bit with the whip, had fun with the whip, more than with everything else. And it was like, okay, yeah, I feel like I'm a handler. And then a friend of me told me also, well, Darklands, I was through a contest. He said, when I saw you 1 month ago, I could not believe that you are a handler. And now I see you here. You're the best. You do a great handler. It was really like, they couldn't believe what I've become, what I've delivered in such short time, because I felt really, really comfortable as handler. When they see me first just with a crop whip running around and beating people in any way, and then they saw me at Darklands with my flogger and my paddlet and my new crop whip, they were like, okay, yeah, you're totally handler.
That's amazing development, though. Amazing.
And the contest was also really amazing. My co-contestants of the handler side were so cute, especially Stupsi and Iggy also.
Yeah.
If I think about this, it was like, I have to laugh when I think it, because it was such a great feeling and such a great group. And also the puppies, they were all cute. I wished everyone who has won the contest, and also at the handler side, I was really like, oh my God. When it comes to the end, it was like, okay, I wish everyone to be handler without me, because I realized then, fuck, I have to work then. Fuck, I need a job. I need a better job.
Yep.
Fuck. There will be much traveling. Fuck, how will I afford that? Okay, I have to deliver. Oh shit. And on the other hand, it was like, I want to beat. On the other hand, my sane side was like, oh no, please don't. And then we went to stage. I was there, seeing the people. Yeah, I was first runner up, and I was so happy. Boomy gave me the medal. Sadly, after all, we don't have the ceremony. Boomy gave me the medal, and I was like, I'm first runner up? I can't believe. I searched the judges there, and I was so I just said, thank you so much to every judge, because they were so really nice. They were really in that way that I've never felt they were judges. They were more really like the examinator at my A-level exam, who made jokes in between, who just said, and how often you drink champagne in a year? Which drugs do you take? But not like that, but it was really they were so cute. I'm sure if you have seen when there was the handling demonstration, I was so nervous.
Yeah.
I was
But you got through it.
I got through it. I had a 3 more. I was shaking there, and they come to me. I have everything okay. Even the judges came to me and asked me, is everything okay with you? Everything okay? Yeah, I'm just nervous for that. So it was really, and after that, when I realized I'm first runner up, I started first a little bit a break, even through just to realize what is now my job, what I can do for the community. Also, well, not celebrating, but celebrating will maybe this weekend, but I'm unsure if it will happen. There's a drag show around, and the drag queen asked me that I will be the judge there.
Oh, that's exciting.
And they want to interview me about the Darklands. So how it will be in Darklands, how was Darklands, what would I recommend to the people? I know what I will recommend the people if they ask me. Keep your fucking credit card at home.
Yes. Oh my God. This year I was like, okay, I have no money, I can't spend anything. And I was like, well, I do have my credit card. Yeah. Big mistake. Never again. Never making that mistake ever again. I regret my life decisions bringing that credit card with me.
Thank God I could save some. I didn't spend that much money, but then one day my rubber suit broke. It ripped on the backside, and I had to buy me a shirt. There was a company there, and I immediately ran there. I saw the shirt before and said, now it's mine.
I mean, I don't think people would have been too bothered if you'd went around shirtless.
Yeah, and even I saved some money because it was 100 euros, 110 euros instead of 200. So
see,
I made a bargain.
I made the mistake of going to one of the stalls and being like, oh, they've got black and orange latex, which is like my favorite. I was like, they've got it what looks in my size, I'll try it on. So I was like, oh, I can try it on. They're like, yeah, here you go, just try it on. So I tried it on, I was like, oh, it's a perfect fit. I was like, oh, I'll take it. I did that before asking the price and then went to buy it and was hit with the price. Regret.
Yeah, thank God I went at least latex stores away. I made a big bow around, a very big bow, because otherwise I would buy anything.
Yes.
I would buy something. Being a student is not that cheap.
No, I do not miss my student days. I'll tell you that much. I did get 2 tattoos while I was there, which, getting tattoos at a festival probably isn't the best idea, but the guys at Cube Tattoo are absolutely incredible, not to mention gorgeous. So it's a win-win situation. I just felt like the market was really good this year, and they had the barber back this year, which was kind of cool.
They shaved me. They shaved my head.
Oh, you're all fluffy again.
Yeah, again. Now I was at a hairdresser again. Now I'm not fluffy. Just the mohawk is fluffy.
Ooh, I like that. I usually get the skin fade done, and that it lasts about a week before it starts, or it lasts like 3 days because I got my hair cut on Thursday and I've already got a decent bit of growth, which is annoying.
Yeah, but you don't have the curly Italian hair like I have. I really have this. If my hair gets too long, I can't wear anything. I can't wear a mask anymore. When I bought a very expensive latex mask, I can't wear anymore because I have too much hair.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's not ideal. I know a guy who was growing a mullet, and I always wondered how he managed to fit it all inside his pup hood, because I was like, that can't be comfortable with the kind of pup hood sitting on top of it and all that kind of hair bulging at the back. That must be put a lot of pressure on your eyes.
Yeah, I can imagine. I had longer hair this last year. It was so annoying with the pup hood. It was like the hair was all the time in my eyes.
See, that's just not fun.
That was so annoying.
And do people outside the fetish community know about you being a runner-up? Or is it something that you only kind of tell people inside the community?
Well, from my studying colleagues, they know it because they follow me on Instagram.
Oh.
And when it comes to my internships or work, I really separate it, because I think that if you work as a tutor, they shall not know that their tutor is first runner-up for European Handler.
Yeah, I guess that might be a little bit awkward. One of my bosses knows about the podcast, and she's listened in. So, Lee, if you're listening, hello, shout out to you. I've got a couple of colleagues that also listen in as well, just because they're kind of interested. Everyone always asks about the chain, so I thought, why not just tell them about the podcast as well? Because it's now kind of something I do in my free time. Because do you ever do anything outside of work apart from work? I'm like, yeah, I have a podcast. I'm like, isn't that more work? Yeah. just no free time. It's great.
Yeah, I know it. I was volunteering as paramedic and as lifeguard. I know how it is to just have work, and work.
Man, another man in uniform. Delicious.
Yeah, so much life.
So, do you follow the hanky code, or what colors do you go for that kind of represent you as a handler or you as a pup?
Well, the hanky code, I think the time of the hanky code is over, because nowadays we're in the online community and where you can easily write, and even if you have more things you're into, you have to have many hankies and many colors, and you have to, you can be a parrot. Then we don't have pup play, we have parrot play. If you take every subcolor,
that would be loud.
And so I'm really thinking we're out of that. Even my colors, I'm more or less black and white. means I would be into cum, and my new rubber suit I've ordered is good. I'm blue, white, black, and the other one is neon green, and I'm really sure that I'm not HIV positive, and I think this neon green is something like, be aware I'm HIV positive, but I'm not.
Yeah,
my sex life wouldn't be able to that I get high HIV.
Yeah, that's some of the hanky code colors are a bit questionable. I think it was Shiny, if you've listened to his episode. He was talking about the shoelace code. I don't know if you know about that one.
No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, that's, if you thought the hanky code had some questionable colors in it, you should hear about the colors of shoelaces and the way that you tie them and what that represents. Because I looked into it after speaking to Shiny, and yikes. Let's just say I'm going to be careful how I tie my laces and what color they are from now on.
Yeah, well, I was never into this color, so I was really like all the time. I wear the colors I like, and colors I really feel good inside. And a friend of mine is violet, black, or blue, or sometimes all together.
Yeah, kind of the darker colors. I like that. Because I certainly find, like, I just went with my favorite color, which was orange, which turned out to be anything, anytime, which I'm like, you know what, that fits. But I know other people like have favorite colors that just don't fit at all. Like I know pups that really like their kind of yellow latex, but they are not into piss whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's, on the other hand, it's really difficult because there are many people who think the hanky code is still existing.
Yeah.
And if you then go with a yellow rubber suit to the toilet and they think you are the toilet, it's a little bit complex. So that's why I also always want to say, people, please ask before you do.
As mentioned on every episode of the podcast so far, consent, consent, consent. We're all about consent here.
Yeah, it's the most important thing of all.
Absolutely.
Don't start beating someone if they present their ass to you and they want it. Ask first.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want it. Maybe they're just comfortable like that.
True. Plus, it's always nice to, you know, ask someone if they want it, because then if they say yes, it's like, hey, yo, I'm into that shit.
Yeah, or if they really ask, beat me.
Yeah.
But that's really seldom. But even through asking, you get through consent and through really much asking, you get a whole other level of this whole play, because the top feels more comfortable and the pup also feels more comfortable because they know their needs will be heard, and there is someone who's hearing, who's fulfilling their needs. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you find that kind of having that kind of discussion and kind of reinforcing consent, do you think that makes it a much, much hotter experience than kind of just a pup's pointing their ass at you, wiggling up against you, and just being like, yeah, you can fuck me sort of thing? Do you think it's harder to kind of have that kind of initial conversation?
Well, it is harder because you have to talk with the people, and some pups define themselves that they don't talk as pup or in headspace. That makes it more comfortable, but that makes it more difficult.
Yeah.
But on the other side, having this conversation before, this pre-talk, gives you, for me as a handler, it gives me more secure. It gives me more secureness. It gives me really the secureness. I know I'm in a good field, and there are so many ways to ask for consent. So, like, even in the play. So first, I really would ask if they just hold their ass hair and say, like, fuck me. I would ask them, shall I do it? Have you been a good boy that you earn a bone?
Yeah.
And if you go then through that, you can implement this into the play. You can really start and ask them if they, have you been a good boy and reward a bone in your ass? or have you been a bad boy and deserved a whip? And then the pub will immediately go inside the play, and if they want to do, and if they don't want to do, they will go away or just say to you, no, thank you, you're not my type, but not starting immediately with a whip or starting immediately with a fuck.
Yeah.
Because it will be a rape. And
yeah, we don't want that. There was already one of them at Darklands, so yeah, we don't want to deal with that.
Nope. And you don't, and the person also want to deal with that, because the lawyer, they need much money for a good lawyer.
Yes, absolutely. It's not easy. But you know, there was certain questions raised at Darklands this year, which, yeah, things could have been managed a little bit better. But hopefully, the guys running Darklands will have taken this as a learning opportunity to kind of improve things. And, you know, further enforce consent, which at the particular event that it happened at is a little bit difficult, since technically we weren't allowed to say no, but yeah, there's still that. There's still a bit of a grey area surrounding that.
Yeah, I've heard about this, Amir, of this horse fair thing.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I was at sex positive parties before, and there always were some awareness guys, and
yeah,
there is always the possibility for a no, and it has to be.
Yeah. It was kind of, you know, you're like, oh, you can't really deny any tops, but I think that was just general terms of like, if, you know, a top wants to fuck you, as long as, you know, they're not hurting you, it's okay, sort of thing. But yeah, there's always one guy that thinks he can just go as hard as he can, and as a little bottom that has IBD, you cannot be that rough with me because I will break and I will suffer.
Yeah.
If you ease me into it, absolutely, but you cannot just straight up go for it, because yeah, I will be very, very broken. And yeah, just, I don't know why, but like the first year that I'd done the horse fair, there was a guy that thought, oh, okay, this is the first hole of the night, and just kind of shoved it in quite forcefully. And that was, I made a very pretty noise that night. I'm pretty sure it sounded like a Tyrannosaurus that stubbed its toe. It was a gorgeous noise, but yeah.
Yeah, but maybe they will do next year another sex positive party where really you can decide if you want to be top or bottom, and you don't have to buy an extra ticket to be top or an extra ticket to be bottom. It's also something stupid.
It would be decent if they done something like that, but I mean, they already had too many participants this year and it wasn't really manned that well, so I don't really know how they would upscale it. It could definitely be managed better, however. But anyway, that's a tangent, and it's probably the reason why Darklands hasn't retweeted the podcast at all, because we're not only talking about good things about it, which they seem to really like to do. Anyway, swiftly moving on. Do you have a particular role model within the kind of pop community?
Not at all. So I think the perfect role is that you make for yourself. So of course there are some things inside, like a service pub and alpha and omega and beta, but not this kind of role model where you really have to be like a handler has to be a leather daddy or a leather sir who's just wearing leather, and the pub has to wear rubber or something like that. It's also like this, the behavior. A good top can also be, or a good handler can also be someone who's a switch or submissive.
Yeah, absolutely.
More or less, and who has this empathy. So I really think the only role model I have for a handler is that they have to have empathy, and much empathy. So they really have to get the feelings of the pub or their subs, and to get really into them, and also that they can feel how they could feel in their headspace. You never can feel the same as them, but you could imagine what they start to feel and if they like it or not. So really through body language. That's what I think is a good handler. It's with pups, it's really like everyone wants to be. If you want to be a brat, you can be a brat. If you want to be a stupid brat, you can be a stupid brat. If you want to be a service pup, you can be a service pup. If you want to be my personal coffee pup, or greetings go to what is them called? You can be my personal coffee pup. I would need one.
Yeah, like a little.
My coffee my coffee is empty.
Yeah, like a little fetch for me. Yeah. Oh. And what would you say has been kind of your most challenging moment in kind of your kink?
Well, my most challenging moment was that time I've left the Austrian community, because it's a little bit special sometimes, our community. Maybe I left because of my own part of life, because I wasn't felt that welcome inside this community. But there were another community around. Since in Austria we have two pub and handler communities.
Yeah.
One is more a fetish community and the other is only pub community. Well, the only pub community I left because I don't felt that welcome inside of that group. And so I was already member of another fetish community, where is also the one of the department managers of the puppy part, and also trying to have my own little community in South Austria, the puppies Carinthia, Koroshka, where I tried to do some events, and hopefully this year they will be bigger.
Nice. Well, it kind of sucks that you had to leave one particular community, but I'm glad to hear that you've managed to not only stay part as one, but actually start up your own. That's kind of a challenge that I'm looking to face kind of in the near future, is getting Puppy Scotland set up. So it's going to be a task. I've started to slowly get things into motion. It's going to take some time because, unfortunately, even though Scotland is meant to be, quite modern and with the times, kinks and fetishes are still quite a taboo subject here. I mean, a guest that I interviewed last week, his episode will be going live next Monday, between you and me, because these are recorded in advance, because I'm organized, I'm bougie. He actually made it into the Edinburgh Evening News, because his friend and their handler went to IKEA together, and it's just them. They're not doing anything sex-wise. They're literally just out as pups. They're wearing pretty much normal clothes. They've got their collar and their hoods on, and they're on a leash. And they managed to make it into the news because people were like, "What the fuck is this? This is weird." And it's like, yeah, if only you knew.
Yeah, I have this feel last year when I had my puppy barbecue at the river, at a small river. I was really like, oh my God, what will happen if this newspaper is finding out that will be there? They will immediately write something. Then they will have the Nazis around, and the Nazis will. I would need a own fighting group to fight against the Nazis.
Are you that worried about the Nazis?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, fair.
I don't know if you get the news of Austria. There was a drag queen wants to read a book in Vienna, and there was the politicians from the far right party said it's a early sexualization from children, and they will become gay after that, or they become transgender.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense because that works. When I was younger, a cat read a book to me, and now I'm a cat, and that's just how it works. I'm sorry, that's just how these fucking people are morons, honestly. Yeah, I really don't get the whole, oh my God, drag queens are going to turn your kids gay. And this is the generation that grew up with people like Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire, and even like loads of people that were doing drag and TV and movies that are now like were really popular back then. But no, nowadays it's the drag queens that are going to turn your kids gay.
Yeah, that's not.
Shit's wild.
Yeah, it's weird, but that's the far right parties. Just don't think what they do. Just ignore them, I would say. But if you ignore them, they get louder, and yeah. But I think that's more or less an Austrian problem, or everywhere else in Europe they destroy themselves.
Yeah, I mean, the only news that I really get from Austria is the company I work for is kind of global, and we have a site over in Austria. So we kind of just get the news from Vienna, and that's about it.
Yeah, okay. If you get news from Austria, either someone is getting out of a cellar, or there is something about Nazis.
Yeah. So do you have any advice for new deviants or any new pups or that? Hopefully, including how to avoid Nazis.
Well, a very easy advice. Just be yourself around the community. Go to the regular meetings. Go to the regular tables in Vienna, or if you're nearing more on the rural side, countryside, go to the go find out if there's a regular table around you. Otherwise, if you know other pubs, you can find your own regular table. Have fun as pub. Do whatever you want as pub. You can sing karaoke. You can dance. You can do whatever you want. There are so many events, and I can really tell you, no one will bite you except you want it. If you want it, everyone will bite you. But if you don't want it, no one will bite you.
And just on the back of karaoke there, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, there are many. There are really many. It depends on the mood, but last time I sang Nessun Dorma von Luciano Pavarotti. What was it called? The guy from Great Britain who sang it at Britain Got Talent.
Oh, I don't watch Britain's Got Talent, unfortunately.
Okay, that was long ago. It was a mobile phone seller. Oh, fuck. Paul Potts. This a little bit chubby mobile phone seller who, well, it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, who went to Britain's Got Talent and no one believed, and then he started to sing Nessun Dorma, Nessun Dorma. It was really epic.
I don't remember that guy. I remember Susan Boyle, because Susan Boyle doesn't live that far away from me. She was hilarious. Yeah. She's a hilarious person to meet, by the way. She's absolutely like, I'm just like, Subo, how you doing? She's like, all right, pal, how you doing? She's fucking hilarious. I love her. One of the only celebrities that has ever kissed me on the cheek.
Really?
Just want to point that out there. Susan Boyle has kissed me on the cheek. She's a lovely, lovely woman. I love her a bit.
So you have never washed your cheeks anymore?
No, I grew hair on them now. So now nobody can brush it off either because it's got a thick layer of hair. No, she is amazing though. Trying to think. Yeah, Lewis Capaldi wasn't that far away from me. Wasn't friends with him, but he's kind of the same age as me, so yeah. He's a pretty decent guy. I know people that are friends with him, and they say that he's still really cool, even though he's now big and famous. But yeah, my go-to karaoke song, I'm not quite, Subo or opera related. I usually go for like Cry For You by September, which is I know she's Swedish, I think, but it's a bop. It's an absolute bop. It takes me right back to 2007. I feel like I'm 10 again. It's just brilliant.
Well, on the other hand, I really like also to sing the rock Fallen from Volbeat. or Counting All the Still Counting. It's also a very good song.
Yeah, those are both great. Oh, those are great choices, actually.
And the regular table I do is, well, not that regular. It's 2 times a year. Maybe I want to, because there are just 4 pubs who would regularly attend there, and meeting a bar for that is a little bit hard.
Yeah.
And there's a karaoke bar in Klagenfurt. It's half an hour from my place. Okay. And there we had this karaoke session, and it was so hilarious. There were normal people and the pubs, and the people really, it was that kind of regular table where you really can be an ambassador also for the puppy community, because people, the first drunk guy asked us, "Are you furries?"
Of course, everyone thinks you're a furry. It's like, some of them are, but yeah.
Some are, but not all are. Yeah. But some furries are pups, but not all furries are pups. But some pups are furries, but not all pups are furries.
Yep. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. For especially if you're drunk.
Yeah. God.
Tried to explain it to them, but no, it was. We just had fun, and also the boss of the bar had really fun, because she has usually the drag shows also in her bar, and she likes the drag shows, and at least she got that income of a month at one evening.
Yeah, which, you know what? That's ideal. She probably wishes you guys showed up a lot more frequently.
Yeah, so she really likes the show. So, but that are my favorite karaoke songs. And sometimes if I get it in a duet, it's Same Love.
Yeah. Oh.
But if I have to have a woman, or I like Freddie Mercury from Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, Bohemian Rhapsody is always like, it's a go-to bop. I think there's not anywhere in the world that you could go and be like, oh, what song do you want to karaoke? People will be like, I don't know. And like, because you'll start naming songs, like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. I haven't really. But if you say Bohemian Rhapsody, everyone's gonna go, oh fuck yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Or the Austrian standard Austropop songs, but usually I will run away with Austrian Schlager. But there's very famous songs like Falco, if you've heard of them.
I haven't. I can't say I have. I'm gonna look them up though.
Mozart. This has a song about Mozart. Amadeus, 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 Amadeus. Oh, Amadeus.
Yes, I have heard that one.
Yeah, that's from Falco. That's also common to sing at the karaoke here.
Oh, okay. Yes. I guess I've heard a few of them then. Decent.
Pardon me?
So, what would you say is your hot take conspiracy theory?
Oh, a good question. I made a podcast about to make jokes of conspiracy theories, but I really like those people who believe that there are chemtrails around. For me, perfectly, is my own conspiracy theory. It's that there are aliens up there who are allergic to stenial paper and who cannot hear alliterations.
Ayo. That's a hot take.
I found it one night. I had a night shift, and I had this was my own that conspiracy theory I found by myself. I had a night shift at the Red Cross as paramedic, and my colleague was a pilot, and he worked, and he really likes to make jokes about this conspiracy series, and he made a shield for his cockpit where he wrote "chemtrails on off."
I love that.
And then he sent it to the group of them, and they believed it.
That is like top tier trolling.
Yeah, but
because everybody's. Have you seen what's the name of the show? Oh, it's on Netflix. It's done by. It's like a Netflix.
The Pentaverat stays longer. Must not be found. Pentaverat? Do you mean that show?
No, it's an animated series on Netflix. It's done by Dan Hirsch and a bunch of other guys. It's like about the secret government that runs the entire world.
Oh yeah.
I forgot the name of
Cognito
it.
Inc. The company is called Cognito Inc.
Yes. And they released a second season, then we're like, Lamu, we're cancelling it. And I was like, you fucking what?
What is this show called?
Oh, fuck, what is it called? There'll be somebody listening along going, I know what it is. Oh, fuck.
Inside Job.
Inside Job, yes. I love all of the conspiracy theories that are kind of associated with that. They are just like Oprah's and the Illuminati. A lot of them are lizard people, Hollow Earth. They're absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, but on the other, I'm not sure you haven't watched the other series. It's called The Pentaverat by Mike Myers, also on Netflix.
I haven't seen that.
It's hilarious. It's about a secret corporation, but a good one, not the evil one. They're good.
Good one.
And
okay.
They're exactly made of 5 people.
Right.
And it has this Mike Myers sense of humor, and it's really hilarious.
Oh, I'll definitely need to check that. I'll add it to my watch list. I've got so much that I need to get through. I still need to watch the newest season of Picard. Still not finished it, which people are now getting shouty at me for because like, I need to tell you about all the spoilers. And I'm like, you can't tell me any spoilers yet because I've not watched it. So I need to do that, but I will definitely add that to my list because I do enjoy these sorts of shows.
It's just a mini series, but it's still very good and also about.
Oh, it sounds fantastic. I like those that are like this kind of shit humor, but it makes you laugh anyway.
Yeah. And
so you've told me kind of a little bit about your life as a puppet handler. Can you tell me a little bit about your life outside of your puppet handler? You said you're studying to be a nurse and that you've done work kind of as a paramedic. Can you tell me a little bit more about those?
Yeah, well, that's, it all started when I was born. Then we skip a little bit. So I've made a training as shop assistant. Then I made my A-level exam on the second wave. So next to work, next to my apprenticeship, I've done my A-level exam. Then I've studied technical mathematics, quit it. I've studied information, combination of computing science and economy science.
Very nice.
Quit it. Yeah, and then it was I've started studying nursing at the Carinthian University of Applied Science. It's a little bit easier than the normal university because I get my schedule per week. I have much internships and don't have it like on the university where you have to do everything by yourself. You have to plan your whole year. So it was a little bit easier. And on the other side, I've worked as paramedic. I've worked as civil servant. I've done my military duty for 6 months. I'm voluntarial lifeguard. And yeah, I was a voluntarial paramedic. I don't like the system in Austria. So I've stopped it. Maybe I will start again in some years or even this year. But as a lifeguard, it's really funny. It's the easiest way of being of doing something good for the community. I already saved people from drowning.
Hey, that's good.
But more or less it's just sitting on a lake, because we have really beautiful lakes, and just relaxing the day. And if something will happen, I have to stand up, jump into the water, save the person, and then enjoying the rest of the day and feeling like a superhero.
Amazing. I love that.
And it's it's very more easier than, because here in Austria, especially in the rural area, it is important to be in any in any volunteer community. Either you're at the fire brigade or the Red Cross, or you're at a lifeguard. And at least I keep sporty and I can do stand-up paddling all day. So usually in summer, it's my own mindful, relaxing technique. Taking my stand-up paddle board, go to the center of the lake, laying down, relaxing, enjoying the music, watching the paragliders.
Nice. That sounds idyllic.
Yeah.
So when you're not actively trying to save lives or studying, what do you do for hobbies?
Oh, well, I do sports. I train a lot. I'd like to go cycling or go to the gym, walking every day. And of course, I'm a gamer.
Very nice.
But
Any top games this year so far?
No, this year's I usually wait till they're released. But was one game I'm really waiting for. It's Gothic, the remake. It was the first game I've ever played in my life, and yeah, I'm really curious about it.
Nice. Well, that should be interesting at least. I got excited about the medieval remake that they were bringing out. And I played it, and it's not as good as I remember it being on the PlayStation many years ago.
Yeah.
But hopefully Gothic will be better, because I know that like some of the game remakes that they've been doing have been like absolutely banging. Like playing Spyro again was amazing. So far this year, I've not played too many new games. Cult of the Lamb just had a new update, and it's a good fun game. I recommend that. And I need to get the new DLC for Horizon Forbidden West. For anyone that knows me, I am a massive fan of the Horizon series, which is why my cat is named Aloy. Because she's a cute little fluff ball that definitely gets into trouble anywhere she can and likes to fight things that are machines. So, name fits. But yeah, or do you have a top game for 2022?
Oh, well, 2022 it was. I haven't bought that much games 2022. I've opened Steam on the backside, but for 2022 I just played Alex 2 because I like the Piranha games, and I really liked it. It's only what a friend told me. It's whole face over of Skyrim. It's called Enderroll, and this game is epic. It's just very philosophical, and as a whole, it's a indie project on a face over of Skyrim, and you really get fucked because it's so philosophical. If you like to have philosophical questions, you have to play this game.
Ooh.
Well, my favorite. Yeah, you have to try it. You just have to have Skyrim, and then you have to get this phase over.
Nice. I'll definitely have to try that. Because last year, like games that I played was Horizon Forbidden West, which is amazing. Amazing storyline, amazing art, just everything about it I love. And Inscription. If you like card battler games that have really weird kind of cult-y horror underlying, I really recommend it. It is a fantastic game, and there's so many secrets for you to find that, yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, my favorite games will stay Tropico or Witcher.
Tropico's great. I haven't actually played Witcher. I do have a code for it, so I need to probably download it and play it.
Yeah, well, Witcher 3 I bought when I've done my military service, and it has cost me that time. Of course, I can't buy the normal version. I bought a special edition where you have the statue of Geralt fighting against a griffin.
Oh, amazing!
It's totally worth it. It's now in my living room, and everyone who's here for a sleepover will be watched by Gerald.
Did you get it just because of the statue of Gerald?
Yeah, it was just a reason to buy.
Of course. So, if you had to pick just one thing, what is the most significant thing you have done in your time as a handler?
Well, the most significant thing I've done was really, since I'm not that long handler, it was my competition at Darklands, and also that I could show the people what it is to be a handler, and also could show them the first time they're not alone, because through to my show I wanted also to show the people who have the same feelings, they're not alone. There are some other people who have had the same feelings, and they found an exit strategy from being a pup, being a handler.
I love that. That's amazing. And that is kind of a legacy that you're gonna leave if you decide not to run next year. I do hope you decide to run next year though, and go from runner up to winner, and will be the future Handler Europe 2024.
Oh yeah, 2024 will be a good year, because our 2025 would be even better, because then if Darklands will fall in the same time as my birthday and I would become European handler, it will be my birthday present.
Hey, and that would be an amazing gift from all of your fans.
Yeah. And of course it will also be a possibility. Let's see how far I can get next. If I compete next year, it depends on how far I get with my bachelor. So I have to I want to do a quality study about trans people, and how you can support them through nursing, and what you can do to make them a better feeling in the hospital. So it depends on how busy I will be with transcripting.
Yeah. But that sounds like a really, really good study, and hopefully you can share it in the future, because that'd be something I'd be interested in reading.
Yeah, I hope. Well, it's really sad I can't finish it. It's just finding out, taking the main clauses out, and then I should not go further, because that would be too much for a bachelor. But maybe I can work on when I do a master thesis, I can work on that project on. Yeah,
that would be good. I think it'd be something that would be quite important as well. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you won't find any study at PubMed or at CNAL about trans persons.
No.
3 months ago, when I was looked the last time up, I haven't found anything about this topic. So really sad.
Yeah. Well, you can be the forerunner and change that.
Yeah. Maybe then I can get the doctor. Then I will be it will be even better, because in Austria we like the titles, and if you don't have something like doctor, magister, or diploma engineer in your name, you're nothing. If you have this title, yeah, Austria is different. We're different.
Different fun though.
Yeah.
All right, so I think it's time for Dax's dice.
Ooh.
All right. You know how to play, yes?
Yeah.
All right, so I will roll the dice. You get 3 rolls. If it rolls on a number you don't want to answer, we can skip it, but you only get 1 skip. So if you use it, that's it. You then have to answer the next one. So I will roll the dice. Dice rolling. Ooh, it's a nat 1. What is your best pickup line?
Oh my.
Here we go.
Oh, well, I don't have it right now. I don't have it as pickup line, because it's usually it would be the funniest one I know would be, hey, do you have a good insurance, because you've destroyed my saucers. It's now broken.
That was shocking. Shocking.
or You don't have to. Do you believe in love on first sight, or shall I come in again?
Terrible, but I love it. I love it. All right.
I don't.
Second roll. Oh, if my mouse would click. Ooh, a 17. How would you define yourself from dom top to sub bottom and all of the magic myriad that is in between?
Well, it's a little bit complicated. I'm totally versatile, more on the side of a dom top, but usually more dominant. But I can also be a little bit submissive if I want to be.
Ooh, I do enjoy a sub top, to be fair.
Oh my god, my horns are growing now.
Don't, you'll set me off. You'll set me off, don't. I have to keep myself calm and collected. When you said good boy earlier, that nearly set me off, so I need to calm myself. That I've been spending too much time with Neutron, and Neutron knows how to get into my head, so... Oh, okay.
You can get a session with me. We can do some ASMR. I can start talking slowly and deep and relaxing you. You fall asleep. Otherwise, if I start this now, you will fall into hypnosis and you can sell this podcast.
Moving on to question number 3. Moving swiftly on. What would you say is your most vanilla turn on?
Okay, it's very easy. It's cuddling.
Oh, I love cuddling.
And
yes, I know. I'm very much, my love language is definitely physical touch.
Kissing and cuddling will lead to the hardest boner they will ever see in their life.
Yes, I am very much an attention whore puppy. Where if you pay enough attention to me, cuddly, kissy, things like that, then yeah, I'll get very hard. And I think that's probably because I'm a little bit demisexual. But yeah, it's definitely I feel you there. I'm very much the same. All right. Well, you answered your 3 questions. The second one has left me a little bit fluttered. Okay. So if you had to choose one thing for me to remember you by, what would it be?
Well, what it would, for one thing, you should remember me is that there's always someone you could talk to, and there's always someone who could listen if you have a problem. And if it's me, I would be honored that it's me, and I will do my best to support you and the whole community and to help them getting out, or even leading them to some professional list if they want to and need it.
What a sweetheart. Aren't you just the cutest?
Yeah, that's the Austrian way of being cute.
Takes it in his stride. Aren't you amazing? All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me on the podcast. Do you have any final words or words of wisdom that you'd like to share?
Thank you for inviting me. And for the last thing, people out there, if you have some mental problems, if you suffer from anything, you're not alone out there. Try to reach some help. There is a number or even a friend you can talk to and who will listen to you. And don't do something stupid. Just be yourself, and we will all meet again at Darklands, hopefully.
Yeah. I think that's a fantastic way to end it. Well, thank you very much, everyone. I have been Dax, and this has been Kerberos.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.